Welcome to the State of the Mist World vs. World podcast. I'm Criff,
And I'm Salamander.
and we are here to talk about all things World vs. World, keep you updated on what's going on, and give you some thoughts on the future.
Yeah, it has been a little while. The new guild has renewed us for our second season. The pilot season went well. Thank you, Criff,
Yes.
and the new guild.
Thanks, listeners. We have not been canceled,
Not just yet.
although that last episode might have came close. There were some people that didn't like it.
Yeah, very, very unhappy listeners.
Yeah, no malice intention. Some people kind of got the wrong idea with the phrase "call out," I guess, but
yeah,
nothing negative towards other content creators. But yeah, we're here talking today about kind of what's gone on in the interim. You know, we had Winter's Day and maybe some people taking a break from the game. I don't know, but there was a beta in there as well. And then the upcoming, we're in Lunar New Year time now.
yeah. Right after the end of the Winter's Day, of going straight into Lunar New Year. Amazing skins, by the way. That bunny helmet looks fantastic, or the mask looks just amazing. Can't wait to pick that up.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a little kind of Donnie Darko-ish. Like it's cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Donnie Darko, but yeah, you're right. It does kind of look Donnie Darko-ish.
Yeah, the disappointing thing with the Lunar New Year is no World vs. World reward track. I kind of was looking forward to that, but
Yeah, that
gave
would be nice.
yeah, I always look forward to that for Winter's Day. We got to pump out all the presents and things while staying in World vs. World, but nah, Lunar's New Year, can't do it. Oh well.
Maybe next year, or they'll throw us some bunny envelopes or something.
Yeah. I do enjoy the Winter's Day World vs. World effect that people that are not traded on the catapults, when they shoot, they start throwing presents instead of rocks. That's a weird little thing that the devs threw in and has always stayed there, and nothing else has been added. But hey, we got that.
That is pretty awesome, though. Would be nice to see a few more things. I'm sure once World vs. World gets reworked, we can see a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of progress on World vs. World, the beta that we had.
Oh yes, very short notice. I think it was good of ANET to push out an alliance beta when they saw that it was needed. We don't know what's going on their end all the time, so just understanding that they are making progress is just great to see.
Yeah, it is. It is nice that they're doing them, that they're, keeping people involved and showing that they are actively doing things in the game mode.
Yeah.
Let's see, what were the dates? I guess it was first part of December, first week of December.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, really short notice. I mean, God, what was it? Less than a week? Like it was really, really short.
Yeah, I think it was about a week or maybe a few days. Yeah, I just remember hearing about it and seeing your announcements go up telling everyone to make sure they check the right stuff and yeah, all the usual.
Very surprising. Yeah, I don't think there was in-game mail this time, and like more than a few of the guilds were mad about it. Like they wanted to have this extra time to kind of organize extra and set up their alliance guilds and make sure everyone checks the right thing and blah blah blah. And I kind of understand that, and I mean advance notice is always nice,
Yeah.
but I think it was good in another way, because I mean once this is live, that's not really going to be a thing. You shouldn't need advance notice. It'll just be something that happens on
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, like I get it. Some people some people got upset about that, but like we said, the progress is happening. Just the fact that they roll out any beta tests at all shows that they're making progress. It's not like they're rolling out the exact same thing, and we don't see any changes. There are a lot of back end changes, so a lot less people are getting locked out of their alliances, out of their shards, or the shards that their guilds are on, and ANET has the right to make these changes when needed. And we've been demanding alliances for so long that we should give it to them to throw down the need for an alliance beta when necessary. And I'm sure that the holiday season approaching, referring to back early December, may have been a good reason why they kind of threw it out there real quick.
I think so, because I mean, one thing we don't really recognize as players is that the devs are beholden to NCSoft, who's beholden to the shareholders, and those kind of people always want to see year-end results and, oh, what did you do this year? And it sounds a lot better for the game to say we did 4 betas instead of 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Was it 4 betas last year?
I'm pulling that out of my ass. I don't know. It could be 3, but
Yeah, I've lost track of how many betas there have been. For literally no reason. I think on one of the last episodes, I was like, "Yeah, it's been 7 betas," and someone was like, "No, it's been 4, or it's been 3." Yeah,
they do kind of blend together, but they're blending together because they're good, because they're fun. They're more engaging than normal World vs. World. Like, I look forward to them.
yeah. I look forward to the Alliance betas so often. Like, I think I play a lot more when the betas are out. Like I don't get to play Guild Wars as much, but when we get to play with our Alliance friends, it's I tell my wife like, okay, so the beta's happening. I'm gonna be on the computer a little more, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, I think everybody, well, damn near everybody's like it. I'm sure there's a few people that just want to scout for their normal server and get mad when they can't. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that beta was fun. I think there really weren't problems with the display of what map you were on. The bugs were really minimal.
Yeah.
There were a few people from our guild that didn't get placed the right way, but I'm pretty confident it was all user error, or they were either just so new to the guild they hadn't got into our alliance guild yet.
Yeah, and that happens. It's bound to happen even in the future, but taking the necessary steps, and I think the option to select your alliance guild is still available outside of the alliance betas, right? At least now.
Right. So it's kind of meant so you don't have to do anything. Like, you should
Yeah.
just leave your World vs. World checked, and it's always right. So
Yeah.
that's what our guild did, and we were fine. Like, aside from the newest members, you shouldn't have to do anything. The guilds that I guess complained or didn't like it or didn't have enough time were trying to do some crazy stuff that's overly complicated. Or I mean, the alliance guild quote unquote idea is that each alliance makes a guild so we can go in together under that guild instead of everyone selecting their real guild.
Yeah.
So some people maybe they drop that guild when there's not a beta going on so they can use the guild slot. That's I guess a scenario I could think of. But I mean, just keep that guild and keep it checked, and you'll always be good. I guess that's my thought.
Yeah. It's not overly complicated.
And it's really just a band-aid until they put the proper UI in for actual alliances that are visible and usable.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But yeah, other than that beta, this world felt kind of quiet over the holidays, which is not too surprising.
Yeah, it's expected. A lot of people are doing, family things. And yeah, you usually see a slight drop and then it picks up once everyone gets back into the groove of things.
Yeah, big change in commanders' schedules. They might be out of town, or other people have time off work, so they're commanding extra. It's a different time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, like I wasn't able to command for 2 weeks straight. Surprisingly, the holidays, both holidays, referring to Christmas and New Year's, fell on Saturdays, which is the day I tag. So unfortunately, that was 2 weeks that I wasn't able to tag up. And I gotta say, I felt rusty when I came back.
Yeah, yeah, it's noticeable if you're not in it for I'd say a few days to a week. It really you don't feel as quick or as
Yeah,
aware of what's going on. Yeah, that is a good feeling to get back in the game and everything active and kind of how it normally is.
yeah.
So one other thing we haven't discussed with the beta is in this beta and then the previous one, they gave us some skins.
Oh yeah. Nice skins too. I think I said that in one of the previous episodes, but yeah, those skins were pretty awesome. I still have the skin selection chest box thing in my bank because I can't decide which one I want. Don't know if we're going to eventually be able to unlock all of them. I'm assuming we will be, but just in case, I have it sitting in my bank for the occasion where one of my characters needs that skin for fashion.
Right. They're War Machine, I think they're called.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it's the same skin set, so there's all the weapon types. And I've got two now. I chose the hammer. The hammer's pretty nice, but don't really know about the other one. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, just rewards for participating in the beta. I think you just had to like log in one time and you got it. And yeah, very generous. A good incentive.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they're pushing these out. I was a little worried before they released the War Machine weapons or these new World versus World skins that we wouldn't be getting anything like that because I'm pretty big on fashion, not as big on it as some of my other friends, but I try to make sure that my characters look good in World versus World, and nice to see these World versus World skins getting pushed out.
Yeah, I'd like there to be more of that to the point where you can just step out into PVE somewhere and have some crazy stuff on, and they'll be like, "Oh man, that's a World vs. World player," you know?
Yeah, yeah, that would be super cool. I'd like to see, well, someday I'd like to see World versus World legendary weapons. That would be
Hmm.
like awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the armor, but I mean, people want to change up their armor. I don't think they're just leaving it as is.
Yeah, no. I have the legendary light armor set, and the only piece I use for the skin, I think, is the sublime chest piece for the tentacle looking thing, which,
Hmm.
yeah, pretty sick.
But yeah, beyond Winter's Day and then now Lunar New Year, no plan coming out. No announcements of what's to come. The roadmap. That's what you see on the
Yes.
Reddit and stuff. Summon roadmap.
I would like to see an alliance roadmap. They told us that there are going to be phases rolled out for the alliance beta. Um, I'd like to see at least a rough roadmap, like what's coming next. What are some of the big things that they're working on for the alliances? When we can kind of expect phase two and what phase two will consist of, and if there's a phase three or if after phase two it's just rolling out the beta and making it permanent until it's fully updated.
Yeah, there hasn't really been a mention of a phase 3 in what they've put out, so I'm kind of hoping this is the end of phase 1. We move into phase 2
Yeah,
with the actual alliance functionality and, a beta or two to test that and done. Ship it.
yeah, that would be really nice. Like if they released a beta that was just full on released, and we pretty much lived in the alliance and no going back to the old world versus world format, that would be really nice. Goodbye, Maguma.
Yeah, just let her rip. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
I mean, the next beta, I'd like to see it be multiple weeks. That would be a good way for them to test the kind of up and down and fighting against different worlds and not just one.
Yeah, changing in tiers and stuff. All of that would be nice.
And probably more people would catch the beta if they weren't there for 1 week. So they'd at least catch it for the second.
Yeah.
They still had the XP buff for this last beta, and I was hoping they wouldn't,
Oh
just
yeah.
to see normal population and not, the XP chasers who don't really care about the game mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the roadmap we're expecting, they'll probably do one in the next few weeks, I imagine. But something to kind of let us know what else there is in the future months. I mean, they normally do that with a little graphic thing for the different seasons, spring, winter, summer, etc.
Yeah, when the festivals are coming, and a little explanation on what's getting rolled out.
Yeah, I believe they're due for some real actual new PvE content with the Living World stuff. We'll see, but
Yeah, a lot of my friends are waiting for the Living World 6 announcement. I'm I still need to finish Living World Season 1. So, yeah. I'm kind of behind on the story.
yeah, I did that the first time through, so I kind of haven't bothered doing it again. Even if they're throwing a precursor, I don't care. I'll just keep doing
Yeah.
normal stuff.
I feel that.
But yeah, other than the roadmap that we can expect, the change in seasons is sometimes a good chance for a change in clothing.
Oh, yes,
And
definitely. Our friend Logan Thackeray has something in store for us. Why don't you kick it off, Griff?
yeah, one of our sponsors has let us know that there is an event going on. Logan Thackeray's discount code Emporium is holding a sale. They have sizes from Asura all the way up to Norn.
The socks don't really fit too well. They're not really true to size, so I'd suggest trying them on. Maybe not right after Nasura, but yeah.
The used clothing section can get a little hairy. No, but seriously, if you guys have a guild you want to promote, or an event, or whatever other things people want to promote in the game, yeah, we can do that. We can throw in a little segment for you if you want to throw us some gold or something.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Some guilds have issues recruiting, and this just offers one extra platform. So, yeah, if you're interested, feel free to let us know in the comments.
That's actually a good topic. That I don't think we really talked about a whole lot is recruitment for guilds in World War.
Yeah, it does get a little difficult sometimes, a little messy too if you just start recruiting people who aren't fully into it.
Right, right. World vs. World's a specific game mode, and you need a specific kind of person that is going to be playing it on the regular.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see the quote unquote PvX guild that plays all game modes, and they tend to be really big and really not specialized. But they don't have the focus necessary to really do well in World vs. World, I feel.
Yeah. Or they'll be very casual friendly. You know, leans more into what you're saying that there's no big focus. So they'll bring a lot of casuals into World versus World, considering that they are just an all around guild. Yeah.
Yeah, and I started out in one of those guilds, and nothing wrong with them at all. I mean, people have fun in World vs. World. A lot of them seem to play Fridays. Like, they'll show up for reset, they'll do their thing.
Ah, okay.
Might be a drunk night, who knows? Whatever. They'll play, wipe, fall down, have fun.
Yeah.
But then you probably won't see them in World vs. World for another week because they're doing the raids and whatever else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I realized back when I'd play the NA resets, there were a lot more people on, and yeah, not all of them. Like you wouldn't see all of them throughout the week. Some of the guilds you would only see on these Fridays.
Yeah, I can think of several guilds like that.
Yeah,
But it's an unfortunate thing because like that's when the World vs. World scores reset, you fight new servers and all that. Adding on to the fact of all these people that might not play the rest of the week and they're showing up Friday night only, it makes for huge queues Fridays all the time,
I
even
could
if there might not
imagine.
be the rest of the week. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've always wanted reset to be in the middle of the week. I think that'd be better for the flow of the game. But
yeah, like the weekly resets like Tuesday, I think, or
Yeah.
at least that's when the updates get rolled out. So if the World versus World reset was on a Tuesday, I think it would make a little more sense. But yeah.
But yeah, the PvX guilds, I don't think they recruit very well in World versus World. I think they kind of recruit in random open maps and then bring people in.
Yeah, have people switch to their servers and all of that. Or they'll be broken up into several different servers. I've seen at least like 3 PvX guilds do that. Um, One of them being the EU guild that I'm in. Yeah, they run World versus World, and only like 5 of them are on the same server or something, and then they fully come together once the alliance betas are out.
Right. I saw that with a guild during the beta that you didn't really see, and then during the beta, it's like, wow, these guys have 40 people. Where'd they come from?
That's pretty cool though. Like getting your friends to play together.
Yeah, because somebody who's new to the game mode is not going to dump a bunch of gems to transfer and play with their friends. They just don't know if they
Yeah.
like it. But yeah, the recruiting for actual World vs. World guilds is different. I mean, it's just in World vs. World, and I don't know. Sometimes it's just map chat stuff, or you actually would have to get into their Discord and talk to them, and then get an actual invite.
Yeah, it's not the same as like recruiting for a PvE guild. You'll see a lot of people map hopping, literally going to each starter zone, or they'll go to a map that currently has a meta running and throw up recruitment messages and just start shooting out invites. And it's a lot more difficult if you're doing that for World versus World. You can technically do it, but you might end up inviting new players who aren't on your server. And that's where things get a little bit difficult, because newer players aren't always going to know what server they're on. Sometimes they select one just because it says low or high and they want ping to be a certain way, but that, like, since it's a mega server, you don't feel any of that. It's all the same. And so you'll have new players selecting a random server, and then if a World versus World guild is recruiting in a PvE map or on a PvE map, then they could potentially bring in a lot of new players who just aren't on that server. Then you'd have to go through individually and delete or message them, letting them know that it's not a problem with them. Rather, it's an issue regarding what server they're on, why they can't play with you, and all of those things.
Right. The whole being invited or being kicked to a guild, just like a squad, people wrap up a lot of, feelings and triggers and that stuff. And I mean, for World vs. World guilds, it is different than PvE guilds. We do actually have more requirements and difficulties to be able to play together. So it's kind of harder to recruit people that you can actually beat with.
Yeah.
For now. Hopefully that goes away soon.
Yeah, the alliances will fix that. So,
but yeah, other than recruiting, there is, aside from just map chat, there's a spot where you're able to recruit for World vs. World, and I hadn't really thought about it until the other day how much of an edge it kind of gives you. But Armistice Bastion,
oh yeah, you can just sit in Armistice Bastion and type things into team chat. That's crazy.
yeah, and if you're not familiar with it, Armistice Bastion is one of those kind of lounge areas that they have several different ones where you buy something for gems, you double click it, and it just transports you into this area where you can craft and go to the merchants and all that.
Yeah, super convenient place. If you're big on crafting or you're big on specific game modes like Armistice Bastion for World versus World, Mistlock Sanctuary for what is it, fractals and so on. Yeah, there's like it's really convenient, nice to have, but it is locked behind gems.
Right. And honestly, to this day, I don't understand people, but like, I really think that people have this mental hang up where they feel like if it's gems, they have to put real money into the game. And that's just so false it's not even funny. Like, you can convert your gold to gems and buy gem store stuff with your gold. You don't have to put real money into the game.
Yeah. Like I have a lot of friends who will, grind out metas, and make a lot of gold from metas, and a lot of their gem store purchases come from converting gold. And I do the same thing. A lot of the things I see, I'm like, oh dang, I don't want to spend money on the game right now, so I'll, you know, convert 500 gold. So I think it's like 800 gems. Well, around there usually. It fluctuates depending on the market, but you get the idea.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm all for supporting the devs, blah 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 blah. But I mean, I buy expansions. Yeah, they've already got
Yeah.
some amount of money. Like, I don't need to pay them that often. So
Yeah, I do buy gems, but I, I can't spend money on the game all too often. So, uh, the gold that I make through the game, I use on shiny stuff in the gem store. And majority of the gems that I get, I think, are from gold conversions. And yeah, like for a lot of new players out there, just I think it's press O, go onto the second tab and it's like currency conversion or something. And yeah, you can change your gold into gems there.
the conversion rates fluctuate, which is honestly the trade post is pretty well designed. Like, it's kind of a good way to understand currency exchanges and like open market trades and things.
Yeah.
You can make a little money on the side trading gems to gold back and forth if you do it at the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend anyone who plays World vs. World on the regular, look out for that Armistice Bastion thing in the gem store. It's not there all the time, but
I
I don't know, like
think
800 maybe.
yeah, I think it's like 1,000. Maybe it's gone on sale before. But the I'm just gonna say MSRP is 1,000.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But the big perk of this thing is that, I mean, there's places you can go to craft and stuff all over. I mean, you could go to wherever, but the perk to the Armistice Bastion is you can sit there and AFK and do your crafting, buy stuff, whatever you need to do, but you can still see team chat
Yeah.
for your World vs. World server.
Huge
So
advantage.
once upon a time, they used to have crafting stations in active World vs. World, which was terrible because people would just sit there and craft and clog up the queues.
Yeah.
So they smartly removed those, but to be able to now AFK and craft and listen in on map chat, team chat, you have to be in this Armistice Bastion only. And man, I took it for granted until I sat and like watched some interactions the other day while I was crafting. And I mean, if you're entertained by, team chat banter and trolls and stuff, there's free content there while you're crafting. But I mean, more importantly, like, yeah, like we were talking about, recruitment messages. You can pop those out while you're crafting, goes to all the maps, and it goes to Armistice Bastion too. So people that are known World vs. World players are going to see that, and, you might be interesting to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, just on a like tactical advantage side, I mean, I could have 10 people sitting in Armistice Bastion just crafting away and chilling, and then some scout in EB says, "Oh, they're attacking our keep," and we immediately know about it and map right in and fight.
Yeah, 10 extra people on the same side. Like huge advantage there.
Like, yeah, you'll see those comments in team chat, map chat sometimes of, "Oh man, we didn't have any people. Where did all these people come from?" And they may have just been sitting there crafting until they saw the message.
Yeah, like if your T3 keep on EBG or your home borderland is about to get taken, yeah, people probably want to respond, so they'll drop their crafting for a second to lend a hand.
And that, it might be people that are just they're more interested in fighting. They don't really want to sit around and wander and capture camps and look for stuff. But if
Yeah,
there's a call out that there's 30 people to fight all of a sudden, yeah, they'll pop in.
yeah, free bags, why not?
They'd call that a QRF, a quick reaction force. There's something somewhere waiting, can just show up at any moment.
New
But yeah,
guild
the
idea.
Armistice Bastion. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely good recruiting opportunities there. There's a little arena actually. You can kind of fight people with World vs. World stats where, the guild arenas are PvE stats, so it's not really
Yeah,
equivalent. Golems to practice with and stuff. So yeah, ArenaNet. If you sell a lot of Armistice Bastions, you can send us a little commission. So as far as recruiting and guilds and such, there's a guild I'm familiar with that is kind of trying something unique that I haven't seen work out before, but it could work this time. It's an exclusively one class guild. It's all thieves.
Oh, I think I know which guild you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's I mean it's honestly addressing something that I've been seeing declining on our server at least. I can't speak for other places, but the roamer community's hurting. Like there's not a lot of people left that do that to any skill level.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just casuals going around capping camps, but not really doing too much besides small scale stuff and walking away from fights.
Right, right. It tends to be the newer people trying to keep their participation up, cap a few things. They see enemies, they run away.
Yeah.
But in previous times there were small groups that would do small scale stuff, roaming groups, roaming guilds. Not a lot of people. I mean, you might see 4, 5, 6, 7 running around, but they fulfill a pretty key role of kind of harassing the enemy backlines and cutting off their supply, taking smaller objectives, keeping the enemy busy, different maps. But it's not really there anymore. Like a lot of those guilds kind of evaporated. Or the other thing that I kind of see is that they've all gone to mag.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. That is the blob server. Wait, no, the cloud server.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's mostly just the evolution of the game and natural player tendencies to want to do the easiest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's where the origin of all the regular posts that we see crying about Maguma. That's why it's happening.
Yeah.
People, I mean, they are a full server and they do have a large community that is always active in one map, but they're also pretty good. Like they're not new players.
Yeah. Like, there is a reason that people don't want to go up against Maguma. And yeah, it's not just because, there are not many guilds to fight against them, but it's just how annoying they are.
And the reason they're annoying is because we don't have, speaking collectively as almost all the other servers, we don't have roamers left.
Yeah.
All of them left to go to Maguma because that's where the roamers go. So there's an oxymoron paradox, whatever you want to call it, that there is no one for Maguma to fight on their level because they all went to Maguma. It was like a if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that is all player-driven stuff. That is not really anything to do with ANET. You can't be that mad at them. It's just players doing stuff. But players can also fix that, and that is by roamers stop taking the easy route and transferring into Maguma, and instead starting up a roamer community on another server where it might be a little tougher, but you'll actually provide some value and get something done.
Yeah. And okay, so the way we run our like organized fight groups, well, organized groups leaning towards fights. And some of our members during off hours would probably want to roam sometimes. And, having a roamer guild on our server kind of gives some of the players a place to go to when it's not time for us to tag up.
Right. Basically, no guild has around the clock presence.
Yeah.
So even the biggest, strongest guilds have their times they play, and then the rest of the day, you're kind of floating around doing stuff or joining other people's groups. And yeah, there's just it's a lot to do with player turnover too. Some of those old roamers on the other servers just got tired of playing and they're gone, or
Yeah.
maybe they moved on to some other part of the game. Who knows? But it's just a lot of individuals not working together and getting stomped on because they're not working with each other on the smaller fights.
Yeah. So it is nice
So
to
yeah,
see that like a small roaming guild.
they can make a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't, one of my pet peeves is like there's some of these smaller guilds, or at least not even guilds. It's just like one guy that gets some people following and tries, and it'll just be a bunch of copium. Like they'll go and set up siege on something, and 20 people
Oh,
will show up and they die,
yeah.
and then it happens again, and then it happens again, and like their copium, they're like their way to to justify the repeated deaths is, oh well, we distracted him, we pulled him away from somewhere else. And I'm like, well, that's not necessarily helpful, but if it makes you feel better, I guess.
I mean, if you distract someone for 5 minutes, but then after those 5 minutes they go back to what they're doing, is it really helpful?
Right. If you didn't capture anything and they just killed you and then they went back and killed someone else, like, you didn't really help. But,
Yeah. You delayed what they were doing. Like you were an inconvenience. But yeah.
but I mean, there are some unfortunate groups of people that get off on being annoying, and that's like,
I mean, yeah, they are going to be there. So, yeah.
so yes, annoying people, there's a place for you. So yeah, that's a cool progression. They can kind of provide some services to the realm in a different way, because it is not all Zerg and blobbing and that misconception that there is nothing else, and quote unquote boonball is all that this is, and blah
Yeah.
blah. That's just nonsense. You don't know what's going on. Like, play more of the game. You're confused.
Yeah. It's like when these players would get very upset about not being able to bring roaming builds to a Zerg. It works the other way around.
Right, the right tool for the right job. I
Yeah.
mean, there's definitely a reason behind why things happen, and the quote unquote Zerg builds, and the quote unquote meta that some people are so damn mad at for no reason, is just a system of builds and people supporting each other so they can do stuff better and they have the boons they need and healing. So
Yeah.
if you're mad at that, you're mad at the whole game. Sorry. But that's the group play, and that's how the game's designed. But then on the other side, you have the hyper individualistic solo. Oh my god, I always think of them as people from this damn anime. Not dot hack. What was the one with Kirito where he's like, I will
Oh,
never join a guild?
that was dang, was it
Sword Art.
Sword Art Online?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like, I've met that person in the game many times. Like, they'll only play one class, one build, and they will never join a guild or work with other people. But you can still play and you can still be useful. Like, it's just, there's a different role for you. You do different things, and you aren't good at everything. You can't be. So
Yeah.
that kind of leads into the it's an interesting term that I've seen pop up, the toxic casuals.
Oh yes. I yeah, it is an interesting term because you wouldn't expect casual players to get so riled up and upset that their casual approach has been, I guess, challenged or something.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, part of that is just expectations from the rest of the game, I guess, and just
Yeah.
people thinking it's always the same and should always be the same. But I mean, in open world, I don't think you really see closed squads.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't think so either. Maybe a guild doing guild missions in PvE, but besides that, no, I'm pretty sure most PvE squads are open. Maybe not Dragon's End because I know that gets really intense, but yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of the difference between world versus world and an open world, is that, yeah, even though anybody can join, different groups can be playing differently or doing different things, and what you're doing may or may not mesh with that, and they don't have to let you in. Like,
Yeah.
the expectation that every squad should be opened and everyone should invite you and what you're bringing, and assume that's good and helpful, is just not true anymore.
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm tagging, I'll have people whispering me like, "Why can't I join? Why aren't you letting me in?" And I'm like, do you have anything besides this squirrely class that you're on?" And they're like, "I will play fantastic." And they might have really high DPS, And you know, they might kind of stay with the group sometimes, but that does not mean that they're contributing to the playstyle that we're aiming for. And I'll get these whispers. I'll also see on. I joined a Guild Wars 2 casuals group on Facebook because I was like, okay, yeah, want to hear what they have to say about certain things. And, they post a lot of fashion and stuff. And usually when you think of casual, it's like, oh, yeah, they're really supportive of each other. But you'll have these people post about how mad they are when they'll join someone else's group and that person who started the group is not happy with the build that they bring. So referring to like PvE raids, if I were to host a PvE raid and I were the commander, and someone came in with some really crappy homebrewed build and is not pulling their weight and they're not following or even minding the mechanics and wiping my group, then yeah, I will not be happy as the commander of the, I guess, sweaty raid group, and I would probably call out the casual player that's bringing this random build, and that's what I kind of do in World versus World too. And to have a casual player come in and pretty much say, I don't like the way you're doing things and you should accept me for who I am, you can find another group to follow. We have 30 other people here who are playing the exact same way that we do, who are on the same page as us. We don't need this one extra person trying to, ruin the night for us.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I think raids and fractals are even more demanding than World vs. World because there's less people and you have to depend on each one even more.
Yeah.
And there are more build options even in a World vs. World squads and more roles you could fulfill. So in a lot of ways, it's less elitist than raids or fractals.
Yeah, very true. Unless you're part of like a hardcore fight guild in World versus World, then that's when it can get more demanding in terms of what build you have to bring. But the average fight oriented World versus World group or guild will be fine with you just bringing a large scale meta battle build or like a large scale Guild Wars 2 Myths build. And yeah, like you said, a lot of the guilds that you'll come across in World versus World aren't as toxic as the very elitist raid groups. And yeah, to come across so many casual players getting upset about not being accepted into these groups, I don't think you're casual enough. if if you're really getting mad about these things, I don't think you're casual enough. And I can say these things because I'm not really a casual player, I when I get into a game mode, I put in at least 95%. I'm not gonna say I'm one of those guys that puts in 110% because who really does that?
Yeah, they're not paying me. But
Yeah.
you're totally right though. There is a kind of gross sense of entitlement that people come in with, and I don't put up with it. I really don't have a reason to. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to contribute like everyone else is, I can find somebody else. I don't really need someone else that dies a lot and wanders off.
Yeah. There's a
There's,
time and a place for all of these things, and for the toxic players, the time and place is not here and with us.
and I mean, there's nothing stopping these people from playing how they want. It's still a play how you want game,
Yeah.
but you don't have to get in a squad to play how you want. Like, you can go
Yeah.
off by yourself and cap things. That's still an option. Just don't expect to be in a group that's all doing the same thing with the same purpose and you doing your own thing. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. It's like going to someone's party and getting upset that it's not all vegan.
Yeah, yeah, and then yelling at all the meat eaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the topic that we're discussing is actually something that I found another set of World vs. World podcasters that I didn't know existed. They're doing some similar episodes on these topics, which was cool to see.
Oh yeah, I think you told me about them. That's pretty awesome. Like for a while, this was the only one, and to see that there are other players out there that can offer a different angle, because I think they were. It sounded like they were more PPT oriented, right?
It's a good mix. They've got several commanders from different angles that
Okay,
kind of talk over stuff.
that's good.
It's kind of a different format. Like they have 4 or 5 people talking and different subjects. So it's I mean it's not competition or anything. Everybody can take their part in the discussion.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice to see, if it's not us, it's someone else, and they are bringing World versus World and showing other Guild Wars 2 players that this game mode actually exists, and you know offer their point of view on a lot of things that's going on.
But yeah, I haven't talked to them. I haven't interacted at all. But they seem nice. If you want to check it out, it's quietly discussing. We can put a link in the down below.
Yeah, we'll tag them. Put a link to their channel in the description.
But yeah, that's kind of the main topics we had for today. Other than kind of some future-looking wish lists. What do we want to see in 2023?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with like the timeline or roadmap. Like we get the roadmap for a lot of PvE things, and the festivals and stuff. It would be nice to see a roadmap for um World versus World too.
It would, yeah, just a general outline. Doesn't have to have dates. Just generally what you want to see accomplished before the next thing, and
Yeah. Yeah, like
yeah,
we're not expecting to see, like March of 2023, we're rolling out phase 2, and 3 months later will be the full release of the Alliance beta, here to stay. And yeah, we're not expecting these dates, but it would be nice to see a roadmap such as like so here we're going to be doing this. You can expect within the next 6 months for us to be doing something like this, as long as things go as planned. Yeah, something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And other things to see in the future. I mean, what else? What else? I mean, obviously, the alliance betas and actual alliances themselves. I will just probably uninstall if we don't see them this year, to be honest. But one other thing though would be some World vs. World tutorials though in game.
Oh yes. Um I went over in one of my beginner videos, like the World versus World introduction is almost non-existent, and seems kind of outdated. It's like you go into World versus World and then you walk up to, I forgot what NPC char that was, but it will just tell you like these are maps. You're gonna need friends to capture towers. You're gonna need more friends to capture keeps. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, some more obvious kind of directional stuff on where to go or what objectives are or what sieges would probably help.
Yeah.
And more, I'd like to see it be more visible where players are. Like that's kind of a problem I feel right now. Because you can look on the map you're on to see if there's a commander tag visible. If there isn't, then you can go around another 3 maps to see if there's a commander visible, or I mean, you could ask in chat, but
Yeah.
a new player is not even going to know to do that. Like they'll just look, see no tags, and like, well, this is dead. I'm out of here.
Yeah, and like I think I told you when I came back to Guild Wars 2 and went into World versus World, there were uh like I played back in the day when Edge of the Mist was pretty big. So that was the only map I played on. And I came back, saw no one on there, and I was like, okay, this is dead. I left. And yeah, it's a little tough. There should be a little more guidance, because not all new players will be looking on YouTube for advice, and they wouldn't know what to search.
Right. It's really hard to even figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So if we added in something that would help players know where stuff is or where activities go and where they can go, I mean, could it be something like the PVE maps, like Drizzlewood, or I can't remember the name of the old desert map where there was like the different events
Uh,
with the yaks and the vines. Oh man, I'm so PVE ignorant right now. That's like every map. But yeah, like treating it a bit more like a PVE map with like having pop-up announcements or audio stuff to say, "Oh, Durios is under attack. Go to this place," or something.
that would be really cool if there was just like, yeah, like you said, an announcement that says this is under attack. Because sometimes I'll completely look over like map chat stuff.
Mhm.
Like especially if I'm commanding, I get like tag brain. Don't even look at chat, you know. And then you or one of the other lieutenants will tell me, there's something going on here. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Like it's so helpful having you guys in comms telling me that these things are going on, but new players won't have that.
Yeah, it's a lot all at once, but once you're just coming in at spawn, you see nothing and
Yeah,
maybe some random angry people in team chat you don't understand.
and potentially spawn campers.
Yeah, so that would be cool. A little more visual representation of who's where. We've got the orange swords, which shows like big battles of 25 plus, but maybe something a little smaller. Maybe like yellow swords that show fights of 10 plus or something.
Yeah.
Kind of more things to run after and help. Yeah, and even the upgrading of the keeps, I don't think that's visible or understandable to people. You really have to dig around and look for stuff to understand the
Yeah.
progress, and I actually should try to get these yaks to run into those things. And
Yeah, some people don't know what escorting yaks is even for besides guild missions.
yeah, other world versus world editions. I mean, there's always reward reworks. That's something nice down the line, hopefully. But honestly, I'm okay with the rewards. I'm not picky. I'm getting lots of gold. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I think bringing something in like maybe an incentive for PvE players to come into World versus World, like weekly World versus World achievements where the reward is like 2 antique summoning stones or something like that. Um, you know, will push the PvE players into World versus World just so they have some exposure.
Hmm.
And obviously
Yeah,
that's not just for PvE players, but yeah.
yeah. It should be based around kind of level appropriate points. Like, I guess currently what brings people into World vs. World is only Gift of Battle, which is not until they're making legendaries.
Yeah.
So maybe there's it could be whatever, some kind of quest line when you finish a story or when you reach 80 or something that would bring you in and have some kind of reward that would actually make you want to do it. Not Gift of Battle, but like an actual weapon or something you
Yeah.
want.
Some skins locked behind achievements. That would be really cool.
Yeah, they could just recycle those skins they're giving us for the betas and give people a way to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, gold isn't the only driver. The gold per hour is a thing, but you can incentivize people in other ways with exclusive rewards.
Yeah, and I think skins are a huge thing to bring people in because some people will only play festival events and do festival achievements just for the skins.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I don't have a big wish list for World vs. World. Like I'm fairly happy with the balance.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Mm,
content.
alliances would be the ideal thing. Rewards, get to it when you can. But what I want more than reward rework is a new map.
That would be awesome. I really thought there was going to be an underwater map. Would have been so cool.
That'd be game changing, almost game breaking.
If there was like a majority water map or like a map where you have to go into the water pretty frequently, that would be awesome. Like an underwater keep or something. The garrison's underwater.
Yeah, there'd have to be a pretty compelling reason to get people in there because, man, half the people don't have an underwater weapon. They got
Yeah, so true. There's not even an underwater aqua breather. Oh my god. If the only legendary aqua breather turns out to be locked behind World versus World, amazing.
hmm Yeah, any kind of new map. I mean, because right now, like little historically, we always had EB, we always had the Alpine borderland. When we got Heart of Thorns, they gave us the desert borderland, which was bad. At launch, it was humongous, so it takes forever to get anywhere or find anyone. And they had a lot of extra barriers that you had to break through just to make things even slower.
Oh man.
And when Heart of Thorns came out, I mean, we got gliding, but there were still no mounts. So now that we have mounts, years later with another expansion, it's okay. You can get around with a mount. You can find stuff within a reasonable amount of time. But
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having to run across all that space with no mount and getting lost and falling down to your death. But that's all we've got since the first expansion. Zero actual World vs. World map content of any type, no changes. But it's mostly because of the reaction to desert more than anything else. I feel like the World vs. World community was so mad at the desert map and just straight up avoid it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's still tons of people that won't go to the red map because they don't like sand and falling and whatever.
Yeah, I think most of the fall damage, I mean, most of the fall deaths come from red BL. That's crazy. Never thought about that.
Yeah, it's very, very vertical, up and down, like Heart of Thorns, the
Yeah.
gliding integration. But
That's true.
yeah, I mean, it'd be just. I mean, and as it ends now, two servers, because it's a three-way fight. Two servers have Alpine, one server has Desert. So there's always an imbalance between the servers because one of them has a crappy map and the other two have a normal map,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily bad. I mean, I guess it's like one server has a little bit of an edge because nobody wants to go to their map, but just give us some variety, man. Like, something else. I know that map maybe didn't go good, but try again. Like, it's been years. You guys can
Yeah.
do it.
Like the Alpine maps are pretty much the same, besides different names and stuff.
I even saw a suggestion that we should have two EBs.
Or
That's where it wants
even,
to be. Yeah.
yeah. But even bringing back Edge of Mist, give us pips.
I'd like to see it tried, but I'm scared what it would do. Like, unless the population's in a really good place, you would just
Yeah.
pull all your casual people who don't want to fight to eat to that map, and then you don't have much.
Yeah, that's true.
It was meant as an overflow map back in the day because all the queues were huge, but
Yeah.
now years later, hopefully it gets back there. I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Thanks everyone for tuning in. That was the end of season 2, episode 1 of State of the Mists. We really appreciate you guys for coming in, listening, subscribing to our podcast. It's really great having you guys. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks, guys. Tell your friends about the podcast. See you next time.
See ya. Bye.